Good noon, everyone. So I will be discussing with you the next topic, and that is about United Nations. Last meeting, we discussed about the different international organizations, and this time around, I will be giving particular attention to United Nations because this is the international organization that governs mostly of the countries at present time. So, the United Nations was founded in 1945, right after the devastation of the Second World War. The international community needed a permanent institution that would prevent future wars, promote cooperation, and respond to global problems. So, before United Nations, we have the League of Nations. However, hindi naging successful yung international organization na yon, kaya nga nagkaroon ng war. Henceforth, three heads of state, later I'll be discussing, three heads of state decided that there has to be another international organization that will maintain the peace and organized world that one should possess or one should have. Kaya nagkaroon ng United Nations. So, if you'd be looking at this image, these are flags of the different member countries of United Nations. And mind you, yung flag ng UN is on the same level of the different flags of the different member states. Magkakapantay sila. So, meaning, it is as if the UN organization has the same representation that of the different countries that are considered as member of which. So, what is the UN organization? The UN is an international organization that aims to promote peace and understanding between nations. So, it was founded in 1945. It replaced the League of Nations, particularly to stop war between countries and to provide platform for dialogue. It contains multiple subsidiary organizations to carry out its mission. Kaya meron tayong UNESCO, meron tayong UNCLOS, we have UNICEF, because these are subsidiary organizations of the UN. Later, I'll be discussing some of which. So, we have here the prime movers of the United Nations. They are Stalin, Roosevelt, and Churchill. So, bigyan natin ng counting background. Who are these people? So, si Stalin, yung nasa, may name naman, he was a skeptical but a strategic leader. So, Joseph Stalin is a Soviet premier. Siya yung nag-insist na dapat daw yung 5 permanent members ng UN ay magkaroon ng veto power. And since ang Soviet ay part ng 5 sa permanent members ng UN. So, sino naman si Roosevelt? Franklin D. Roosevelt is the U.S. President at that time. He was considered as a visionary and the main architect, the prime mover of the United Nations. So, he was the strongest advocate of creating post-war international organization to replace the failed League of Nations. So, siya yung nag-coin ng term na United Nations in 1942. That is to describe the Allied powers fighting the Axis. Kasi during the war, merong Allied power and the Axis power. So, yun yung naglalaban that time. So, pinakita niya that there is this organization named United Nations that will fight against the Axis. So, he is focused on collective security Roosevelt believed that a permanent global body was essential to prevent future wars. So, kung makikita naman natin ngayon, at present time, though there are waging a war in the different part of the world, thankful tayo na walang nangyayaring World War III. Kasi nga, in one way or another, talagang nagfa-function ang United Nations. Ano po? How about Churchill? O, pasensya na kayo sa manok ni Agum Kota. Makikitang maginibo sa tanog ka, ayan. Anong ayan? Ayan na yan. How about Winston Churchill? He is the British Prime Minister during that time. He favored the great power of diplomacy over global institution. But he recognized the need for cooperation in maintaining peace. Kaya, nagpabor din siya sa UN, sa creation ng UN. Siya naman, ang ininsist niya na pag nagkaroon ng UN, dapat merong Security Council. Na siyang function is to be the decision-making body of the organization. Kung titingnan nyo, silang tatlo as prime movers, ang pinakaano nila is peace. However, gusto nila na yung countries nila ay palaging nasa top priority ng UN. Okay, so yan yon. These are the three prime movers of the United Nations. So let us have some general information about the UN. So the permanent headquarters of the UN since 1952 are New York. The first meeting of the General Assembly was held in October 1951. So, yun. So, the white UN emblem is superimposed on light blue background. Yan yung flag. The emblem consists of the global map projected from the North Pole embraced in twin olive branch, which symbolizes peace. So, parang niyayakap ng kapayapaan ang global map. Yan yung representation ng UN flag. So, the UN flag is not to be subordinated to any other flag of the world. That is why, kanina pinakita ko that the member state flag is of equal footing to that of the UN flag. So, yan yung building nila, ang United Nations. Okay. How about the UN official languages? So, siguro nakakita na kayo ng video na kung saan nasa General Assembly ang UN, tapos lahat sila naka-headset. Kasi, meron silang mga translators. Ano po? So, there are 6 official working language recognized by the United Nations. They are Chinese, English, French, Russian, Spanish, and Arabic. So, as to UN finances, contribution of member state constitute the main source of fund for the regular budget. A state share is primarily determined by its total national income in relation to that of the member state. So, meron silang contribution. And, hindi naman equal yung distribution. Siyempre, na-depende yun sa income ng country. Ano po? So, meron silang computation on it. How about the membership? Membership of the UN is open to all peace-loving nations, which accept the obligation of its charter and in the judgment of the organization, are able and willing to carry out this obligation. Members may be suspended or expelled by the General Assembly on the recommendation of the Security Council. So, yun. So, as long as you are a peace-loving nation, then you are willing to accept the obligation of the laws and policies of the UN, and you are willing to abide and follow the judgment once the country committed a mistake, then you can be a member of, or your country can be a member of the UN. So, what are the purpose of the UN? Maintain international peace and security. So, alin yon? nagme-maintain yan. That's the Security Council, where the council is tasked with preventing conflicts, authorizing peacekeeping missions, and sanctions on aggressors. Halimbawa niyan is yung UN peacekeeping operation in Lebanon and Mali. Ano po? Another is to develop friendly relation among nations. Kasi nga, may nakita nga ako niyan ni, I don't know if nandito yun, yung baril na may, na parang binug ko si Badil, just to show na no more fighting, no more using of guns. Because what they would like is to develop friendly relation among countries. Another is to cooperate in solving international economic, social, cultural, and humanitarian problems. That is why they have the Human Rights Council and the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, or the OHCRH, wherein this office monitors the abuses and they promote rights globally. Sila din yung nag-promote or nag-initiate ng Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948. And up to this time, sila yung tinitingnan when it comes to human rights. Sila yung reference palagi. Also, they deliver humanitarian aid. That is through the World Food Program, or the WFP. They also have the UNHRC, or yun ang Human Rights Commission. And they also have the UNICEF. Di ba na-discuss yung UNICEF? It's more on the children's welfare. Also, the United Nations assist refugees. When we say refugees, sila yung mga biktima ng mga war sa kanilang lugar. And kinukup-kup sila ng other neighboring UN countries. Ano po? What else? They assist victims of war and those who are affected by disasters. So, gaya ng mga natural disasters here in the Philippines, tumutulong sa atin ng UN. So, example of which is the aid to Syrian refugee, food supporting during the Horn of the African famine, yung tagutom doon. Also, another purpose of the UN is to be the center for harmonizing the actions of nation. Gusto nila na yung organization nila, sila yung nag-uumpisa ng peace and harmony na i-ripple down sa mga countries. So, gusto nila sila yung sentro ng harmonization, ng action ng iba't ibang nation. Say, kung ang kilos, dapat ang kilos nila ay iisa. According to the different purpose of the sub-organizations of the UN. Ano po? Also, another purpose of the UN is to promote sustainable development. That is the Sustainable Development Goals of year 2015 to 2030. Dati niyan, before the SDG, merong MDG, the Millennium Development Goal. Natapos yun ng 2015. So, ito naman ngayon, inano na nila. Dati nun, i-answer lang yung problem. Ngayon naman, is to sustain. Sabi natin last time, when we say sustain, whatever it is that that are present this time, should still be present in the coming generation. So, yun yung ina-address ngayon, yun yung pinopromote ngayon ng UN, the Sustainable Development. Henceforth, they have the SDGs for 2015 to 2030. So, ano yung target nitong SDG 2015 to 2030. Parang wala kasi ito dito sa slides ko. So, ang pinaka-focus sa sustainable development is poverty reduction. Dapat mabawasan yung tagutom. Kaya, in the course of our lesson, papag-aralan din natin yung food security. Another, gender equality. That is why we have the gender and development. That's why we have the tawag doon, yung women's right. That's why we celebrate Rainbow personality. That's why we embrace these people belonging to the different gender because they promote inclusivity. Another is climate action. So sabi nga natin, this time around, pag nag-uran kita nang nagtarago, dati kadto kitang nagpurutol kahoy. Ang ganyan naman, it is in one way or another being punished. Kaya pag nagbaha, malangoy ka na lang, alangan man. So, ginagawa ng paraan ng UN kung paano i-combat yung climate change. And that is by promoting sustainable development and actions that will lessen the harmful effects of human action to that of the environment. So, one example is the United Nations Development Plans and Projects on Renewable Energy in Developing Countries. Ano yung mga renewable energy? Yung wind turbine, yung tawag doon, solar energy, na kung saan hindi gagamit ng fossil fuel. Ano po? So, dito tayo sa mga organization, sabi natin, merong mga subdivision ng organization ang UN. So, first, merong mga administrative body. They are the General Assembly, the Security Council, the Economic and Social Council, the International Court of Justice, and the trusteeship and secretariat. So, papasadahan lang natin to. Ang pinaka-aim lang naman natin is alamin na meron palang international organization na tumutulong para mas mapigilan ang war, particularly World War. Ano po? So, sino yung nasa General Assembly? The General Assembly has representatives in it from all the member countries. So, kung miyembro ang Pilipinas, merong member representative na umuupo sa General Assembly. They discuss issues and draft resolutions. These are documents suggesting actions for the UN and participating countries to take. So, remember, ang UN, ang binibigay lang naman nila ay mga suggestions. Kasi, ang main function nila is to create dialogues kung merong countries na nag-aaway. So, yon. The General Assembly also includes various council panels and working group that focus on current world issues. So, ang tututukan natin ngayon, which is part of the objective of our lesson along UN, is the challenges of global governance in the 21st century. Ano ba yung mga hamon na kinakaharap ng mundo along the advent of the 21st century? But first, let us define what is global governance. So, this refers to how states, organizations, and other actors cooperate to manage issues that cross borders. But in our century, this cooperation is under great stress. Paano ba ngayon i-go-govern or papamalakaran or ano tawag doon, i-administer ang buong mundo? Because of the following challenges. One is geopolitical rivalry. Pag tinawag natin geopolitics, hindi lang yan politika ng isang bansa, kundi politika ng mundo. Gaya ng rivalry ng US at ng China. And yung tension sa Russia, gaya ng Ukraine war. Usually, napaparalyze nito ang continuous peace sa ating mundo. That is why yung UN Security Council ay gumagawa ng paraan para matigil ito. And that is in the form of dialogue. So, geopolitical rivalries, yan yung isang hamon Diba, ang Pilipinas, dikit sa US, but during the time of Duterte, dikit tayo sa China and Russia. So, again, our membership in these kind of organization, na depende sa satuyang president. So, along geopolitics naman, ang ating bansa is geopolitically situated in a sense na kailangan tayo ng US time comes na kung magkakaroon ng World War III, which we do not hope to happen. Ano po? Bakit? Ang US, kaya palagi tayong may visiting forces agreement dito with the US kasi tinutulungan nila tayo and saying ngayon magkaroon ng World War III, ito yung magiging base nila sa Asia. Kasi masyadong malayo ang US to that of the Philippines. So, kung World War yan, kailangan in all sides of the globe, meron kang base. Kaya, nandito sila sa Pilipinas. So, yun. In one way or another, they are also helping us to secure our country. Especially that we have some rivalry along Kalayaan Group of Islands with China. So, yun. Another challenge that we are facing this time is the climate change and environmental issues. Kailangan with this climate change and environmental issues, hindi naman pwedeng yung isang bansa sila yung sumisira at yung ibang bansa ang umaayos. Dapat there has to be the urgent global cooperation. Pero may mga countries na nagdi-disagree sa mga responsibilities, especially if sila yung nagmamanufacture ng mga product na kung saan ang result is air pollution, water pollution. So, palagi nang magkakaroon ng conflict dyan. So, example of which is the dispute between developed and developing countries over emission reduction. Yun na nga. Water pollution, air pollution. So, paano ba yun marireduce? Another is global health crisis. Sinasabi nga noon, nasabi daw, yung World War III nangyari na. That was in the time of the COVID-19 pandemic. But then, as to United Nations, the organization will not admit that. Kasi kung i-admit ng UN na nagkaroon na ng World War III, so meaning nag-fail din sila as international organization. So inaan na lang nila, dinideclare nila na yung COVID-19 pandemic is just a health crisis. Isang problema lang along health. Pero hindi siya naging world war. Pero kung titingnan natin, we were frozen in time. Hindi tayo pwedeng lumabas. Hindi pwedeng makipagsalamuha. Diba? Merong mga quarantine periods na pinag-uusapan. So, ito ay isa rin sa mga issue na kinakaharap ng international organization in this time of the 21st century. So, the COVID-19 pandemic revealed weak coordination. Vaccine nationalism showed how states sometimes prioritize self-interest over solidarity. So, syempre, kahit na nasa organization ka, 'di ba? Ano yan muna, mayroon tayong tinatawag na family first or meron naman tinatawag na bayan muna bago sarili. Pero, during the time of the pandemic, inuna muna ng mga member nations ng UN yung mga countries nila. At hindi na prioritize yung solidarity. Na prioritize is self-interest. Kaya, aling mga countries yung agad hindi na problema yung COVID-19 pandemic? US and other European countries who are rich. O paano naman yung mga mahihirap na countries na member din ng UN? O, secondary and tertiary na lang sila sa naging priority. Kasi ang na-prioritize muna, hindi yung solidarity na dapat lahat ng countries sabay-sabay na labanan yung pandemic. No. What happened was, yung mayayaman, tapos na agad, sabi nga nung pinsan ko, 6 months lang sa amin yung pandemic. 6 months lang kasi ngaya, pinapili lang ngaya tulos kami, nakasasakyan ngaya, tig swab, in-inject, then tapos. hindi kami gumamit ng face mask talaga. Imagine that, tayo. Almost 2 to 3 years that we have felt the effect of COVID-19 pandemic. So that only shows na though we have United Nations, still, hindi siya perfect. Kasi tao lang din naman ang miyembro ng mga organization. And gusto lang din naman nilang unahin muna yung countries nila or country nila. But then, kung titingnan yung solidarity purpose, nauupo siya doon sa kanilang mga kilos. Another is economic inequality and globalization and even benefits. So, in the course of our topic, pag-aaralan din natin yung regionalization. Kasi ito yung tinutukoy dito na isang challenge. Yung economic inequality. Along economy, hindi pantay-pantay yung distribution ng production. That is why merong globalization and even benefit. So, globalization created wealth but also widened the gap between the global north and south. By the way, itong global north and south, ito yung pag-aaralan natin sa sunod, na siyang gagawan ko rin ng another video. So, sino ba yung nasa global north? Sino ba yung nasa global south? Meron tayong the rich north and the poor south. So, yan yung sinasabing inequality. Na, sabi daw UN, pagkakaisa. Peace. So, paano naman magkakaroon ng pagkakaisa kung meron ngang kinikilalang the rich north and the poor south? So, yon. Kaya admitted ng UN that there is this economic inequality which they would like to address. Ano po? What else? The rise of non-state actors. Last time we discussed about multinational corporations. The rise of transnational corporations. So, yon. Because of this, mga non-government organization and multinational corporation, nai-influence niya ang global politics and often beyond state control. Kasi ekonomiya ito. Ano po? Tingnan natin. Dito na lang, balik tayo sa nangyayaring corruption about floodgate control. 'Di ba? So, paano nangyayari 'yon? Because of contractors. 'di ba yung Senate President dati na pinatalsik at pinalitan ni Soto? 'Di ba? Merong isang contractor na personally funded a gift of 30 million pesos on the candidacy of that politician ni Escudero. So, yun. In the local level, makikita natin na mga non-state actors sila. Hindi sila parte ng gobyerno talaga. Mga contractor sila, mga negosyante sila. Pero, sila rin yung mga prime movers kung paano kikilos ang politika natin. 'Di ba? Kaya nga, sabi ta, pag ang politiko nagtaon ng kwarta, ang question ta dyan, sa inihali, and paano ini babalukaton tinaong ini. So, ngayon, naglalabasan na yung mga problems regarding that. Na, there are contractors, there are private individuals, business owners na siyang nagpi-finance so that in the future, siya rin yung kukunin para magtrabaho ng mga gagawin sa ating countries like sa ang tawag dyan sa DPWH, sa paggawa ng tulay, paggawa ng riprap, and so on and so forth. So, mas malaki pa nga yung budget ng mga sa infrastructure to that of education and health. But then, our Constitution says na dapat ang main priority sa general appropriation or sa yearly fund ng isang bansa gaya sa atin, base sa ating Constitution, is education and health. But then, taliwas sa tunay na nangyayari. Another is, the challenges is also in balancing the national interest with the common global good, which is often easier than that. Minsan, yun na nga, gaya kanina, yung sinasabi natin about the pandemic, na dapat ang tinitingnan is the common global good, kung ano yung makakabuti sa buong mundo. Pero, pag sa oras ng krisis, ang inuuna muna is yung country nila or the national interest. But then, this is just but a normal reaction of a country kasi gusto pa rin nilang i-preserve muna yung country nila. So, these are the major challenges of the United Nations. Ano po? What else? Ang pinakapuso ng UN, the heart of the UN is global cooperation. Yet, kahit yun yung puso nila, yun yung pinaka-aim nila, cooperation, peace, they also still struggle against political and economic tensions. Kasi mas lalo ng, yun na nga, yung tinatawag natin geopolitics, na hindi lang nila nililid yung kanilang country, but also the entire world. Ano po? So, meanwhile, despite the prediction of its decline, the prediction na magdi-decline ng UN, the state remains the backbone of governance. So, hanggat nagkakaisa pa rin ang mga member countries ng UN to have this global cooperation, mapoprotektahan pa rin yung tao, yung economy, and yung identity natin. So, yan yung pinaka-main reason why we need to discuss further United Nations as an organization, though this was already discussed by some of your classmates in the topic that they had along international organization. So with this, I hope you learned something about the discussion. As to the quiz that I'll be giving, dun na lang po sa classroom. So happy listening, happy learning to everyone. Thank you.